The Lazy Boy and the Wise Monk. In a quiet mountain village nestled deep in the valley, there lived a boy named Arun. Arun was known for one thing, his laziness. He hated work, avoided chores, and often spent his days lying under the shade of a large banyan tree, staring at the clouds. The villagers often whispered about him, saying, "That boy will never amount to anything." One day, Arun overheard these murmurs and, for the first time, felt a twinge of shame. What if they're right, he thought. But rather than act, he simply shrugged and continued lounging under the tree. As days turned into weeks, his guilt grew heavier. Finally, his grandmother said to him, "If you truly want to change, seek the monk who lives on the mountaintop. They say he can guide even the most lost soul." Reluctantly, Arun decided to visit the monk. The journey was arduous, but the thought of returning to the villagers' scorn pushed him forward. After hours of climbing, he reached the peak, where a small hut stood, surrounded by a serene garden. The monk, an old man with a gentle smile, greeted him warmly. "What brings you here, my son?" Arun hesitated but finally blurted, "I am lazy. Everyone says I'll never amount to anything. Can you help me?" The monk nodded thoughtfully. "Ah, laziness. It is not a curse, but a choice. Come, let me show you something." He led Arun to a nearby stream. The water flowed steadily, carving its way through rocks and soil. "Do you see this stream? It flows without effort, but over time, it can shape mountains. What does that teach you?" Arun scratched his head. "That water is patient." The monk smiled. "Yes, but more than that. It teaches us the power of consistent action. Even the smallest effort, done regularly, can create great change." "But I'm not like the stream," Arun argued. "I'm just lazy." The monk picked up a small stone and handed it to Arun. "Take this and throw it as far as you can." Confused, Arun tossed the stone. It landed a few feet away. "Now," the monk continued, "walk to the stone, pick it up, and throw it again. Do this until you reach the tree at the edge of the field." Arun groaned but obeyed. It took him nearly an hour of walking, throwing, and picking up the stone to reach the tree. By the time he returned, he was sweating and out of breath. The monk looked at him with a twinkle in his eye. "Was it difficult?" "Yes," Arun admitted, "but I did it." "Exactly," the monk said. "You see, laziness is not about your body. It is a story you tell yourself. You believed you couldn't do anything, but with small, consistent actions, you just achieved something. The trick is to focus on the next step, not the whole journey." From that day on, Arun began applying the monk's lesson. He started with small tasks, sweeping his room, fetching water, helping his grandmother cook. Slowly, his confidence grew. Over time, he took on bigger responsibilities, and the villagers began to notice. Years later, Arun became one of the most respected farmers in the village, known for his hard work and perseverance. Whenever someone asked him how he turned his life around, he would smile and say, "I just kept throwing the stone." And in a quiet hut on the mountaintop, the wise monk would smile, knowing that another soul had learned the secret of steady effort.